Whoa, hello there. Welcome to week 8 of the CGT. Huge game here for you today. We are going against Vepsis, who is the top seed in the CGT right now. We played Dr. Slacking last week, and he was the top seed, and then we beat him, and then Vepsis became the top seed, and now we play Vepsis. So my life feels great right now. I'm having a great time. For real though, Vepsis is one of my closest friends in the community. I said this about Slacking too, but I do mean this about Vepsis as well. He is really like a father to me in some sense, because he's just been so supportive of me, both in terms of Mon stuff, getting into Wi-Fi, things like that. He's been the biggest driver for me in my draft league journey recently, and he's also been a really good support system for IRL stuff too. So I love him to death. I like literally have so much love for Vepsis, and sometimes I take it for granted, and I do really mean that he is one of my favorite people, period, that exist, right, like in my life. Like, I love this man. Go check him out, go check out his channel, but he's phenomenal. I'm kind of viewing this as like the biggest draft league Wi-Fi game I've ever had, just in terms of like caliber of competition. You know, it is kind of okay. I'm not feeling like too nervous, because if I lose, I lose. If I win, then that's super amazing. He has already qualified for playoffs. He's 6-1. Basically, he doesn't need to bring his best team here, because he doesn't want to be in a situation where we both bring our best teams and then I win and he doesn't have a best team if we like rematch in playoffs. So I assume he's not going to bring his best team here. I think he's going to bring pretty standard stuff, and I'm going to have to be a little creative and, you know, I'm just gonna bite the bullet. Like, I'm gonna bring my best team. I'm 3-4. I gotta do it. So, I'm feeling good matchup wise just because of that. But he is a better Wi-Fi player than I am. So, we're gonna have to be smart. We're gonna have to, you know, really, really take our time, not freak out, not panic, and, you know, hopefully pull it out. I mean, it's spooky. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to do it, but damn, we're gonna try. So let's go into the team builder. All right, team builder against Vepsis. Let's go. Let's do this. We are bringing. Well, let me analyze the team below first. Like, let's do some of that, right? So he has a pretty spooky top 3. He has Zera, Rachi, and Kyurem. Thankfully, I think I have one of the best Zera answers in the game in the form of Landorus. Unfortunately, as you can see by the set in front of you, it's not exactly a defensive answer. So I'll go into that in a second. But Zera, Aura, Rachi, Kyurem, very scary top 3, all extremely versatile and capable of doing a lot of different things. Rachi could be defensive, it could be Scarf. Same thing for Kyurem, it could be Scarf, or could be Boots, like with Roost. Nidoking I don't think is the greatest matchup here. I think there's just more things that match up better, but I still prefer it like crazy. Togekiss I think comes as the Defogger or as the Keldeo answer, or both. Seismitoad is also something I think is coming, but also, I don't know. He has 7 Mons that I think he wants to bring, which are his top 3, Togekiss, Seismitoad. Seismitoad should be his rocker. And then Scrafty, Gourgeist, I think he wants those two because he wants Gourgeist as the Landorus answer, and he wants Scrafty as the Necrozma answer. And just kind of knowing how he builds, he likes to think about defensive checks like that. So I think he's going to bring both of those specifically tailored to handle my top 2. So we'll see. But that's kind of what I expect. There's 7 Mons I think he could bring, basically, in short, which are Zera, Rachi, Kyurem, Togekiss, Seismitoad, Scrafty, Gourgeist. And I feel like he wants to bring the latter 4 of those, so I think he might leave out Zera, Rachi, or Kyurem, but we'll see. But I think it's between those 7, which are the 7 that I focused on the most in prep. Although Talonflame was a concern as well that I had to think about for 2 of my aunts in particular. But let's go into what we're bringing. Historically, Vepsis builds in a kind of bulky offense playstyle. Some people kind of say that he plays like super defensive or super stall. I don't really agree with that. From what I've seen, he really just brings like 3 offensive threats and like 3 defensive threats most of the time. But the 3 defensive threats are usually like hyper specific to certain Mons. So that's why I kind of expect Scrafty to be hyper specific to Necrozma, and I expect Gourgeist to be kind of hyper specific to Landorus, and I think Togekiss will be Spadef for Keldeo and things like that. They're not just really like broad walls, they're usually very tailored to specific brings that he expects. So I want to take advantage of that a little bit. So yeah, let's get into what we're doing. My hope is that by baiting in some of those defensive threats, I'm going to be able to just set up spam and break his defense really early so that my offense can clean up. My offense being one of my breakers will become the cleaner, essentially. So I think the main breaker we have here is this Landorus. We have Sword Stance, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Fly. We're running Fly because I expect him to run Colberberry on Gourgeist, and Knockoff would be not great for that. So I decided to go Fly instead. He doesn't have the greatest like flying swap-ins. They're just his top two in Zera and Rachi. He's not going to swap Zera in. And Rachi, if he swaps that in, like I feel like I have solid swap-ins to Rachi. So I don't mind that too much, and I only think he can afford to do that once. The additional thing too is I'm well aware that he could frisk my Power Herb, but in a few mocks, and by a few mocks I mean in one of the 3 mocks I did, I think this one was against Monte, he swapped into Gourgeist, saw the Power Herb, and then swapped out, and I clicked Earthquake and nuked something. So part of me kind of hopes that happens here. I'm not sure if Vepsis will play that way, but even I don't mind him seeing the Power Herb is my point. Like originally I built this without even thinking about Frisk, but when I realized Frisk was a thing in mocks, I was like, yeah, like I still don't mind that because it forces mind games, and I still don't mind getting a +2 fly off on something. And even if the Power Herb doesn't exist, say it's knocked off, or you know, he burns it by swapping Gourgeist out and I click Fly, like even though it takes 2 turns, like he doesn't have great swap-ins to Fly, so I'm okay with that. All I need to be is +1 in order to KO Landorus after rocks, so I can like chew a Intimidate and still be +1 from Intimidate from Scrafty, still be +1, and I think kill Gourgeist after rocks with Fly. But at +2 I guaranteed KO it, which is super cool. So yeah, that's the Landorus set. It's the main breaker. I think it is really strong against him. Next is Necrozma. Necrozma's holding a white herb and is a very basic set. Since I think he's going to bring Scrafty for this, I am going to run white herb to cancel out the Intimidate, which I think is going to be really cool. And I have Dragonance, Brick Break, Photon Geyser, and Earthquake. That hits his entire team for either stab, neutral, or super effective damage. Brick Break in particular does quite a bit to Scrafty at +1. If he takes like spikes, which I have on Skarmory, it's a very easy 2-hit KO with Brick Break, even if he's max Fizz Def, since I have the white herb. So that is the Necrozma set. It's just another breaker option. Could potentially be a cleaner option if I want to keep it in the back for that, but I'm not sure it will be. I think it'll be another breaker option that takes advantage of Scrafty. But if Scrafty gets broken before, and I don't need the Necrozma to break Scrafty, then that's when Necrozma becomes potential cleaner. Weavile, we're running Adamant Choice Band. I'm a little cursed in this season so far. Both times I brought Choice Band, I've lost against Sally Mumble and Gladite. But I really like its matchup here because, I don't know, I think Knockoff is something that he really doesn't want to swap into at all. I almost went Throat Chop because I was so confident he'd go Colbur, but there's no reason to do that, so I went Knockoff. And Knockoff he doesn't really swap into too well. I mean, he has Scrafty, and like knocking off something like the Chopple is really important to me, and that could be really cool. But, you know, if Scrafty gets broken or something, I feel okay. And then Adamant Banded Ice Shard does a chunk to Zera as well. Or Dragonance Kyurem or something like that. Just having that priority in the back is really cool. But this is the main breaker that can really come in on things like Jirachi, Kyurem, and just click a button and force him to swap out, force him to take Hazard Chip and a knockoff or something like that. Ice Shard, like I said, is already for priority. Icicle Spear, I was actually toying between both Axel, Icicle Crash, and Icicle Spear, and no one thought Icicle Spear was a good idea except for me, so hey. Monte thought I should go triple Axel for the damage, but it's unreliable, and that's not something I want to risk. Another friend of mine said that I should go Icicle Crash, which I had for a long time, but I swapped to Icicle Spear because I think there's some potential of like a sub Kyurem or a sub Nidoking or something. And being able to break that with Icicle Spear is pretty cool. Like 2 hits guarantee break a max HP Kyurem substitute. Plus there's potential for more hits right afterwards. Nidoking 1 hit will break it, whereas Triple Axle I would have needed 2 hits, and those are 2 very inaccurate hits. So I want Icicle Spear. I don't think Icicle Spear is something I'm going to be likely clicking, though. That's why I was willing to take that risk, because I think a Knockoff and Brick Break are the most common, and then potentially Ice Shard for speed control. Brick Break I put on instead of Low Kick because it does more damage to Scrafty, and it still does a ton of damage to Kyurem. It's kind of a free click against him, too. If he doesn't bring he's not going to swap Togekiss in, or Nidoking, so, like, or Gourgeist, so all his potential switch-ins, like Brick Break at least does neutral, so it's nice neutral damage. This is a fun set that I think does really well. If I manage to break this Gourgeist with Landorus, then this set looks really good as my endgame. Like, this is my ideal endgame, this Keldeo, where I can just sort of Calm Mind on something like Togekiss, which I expect to be a swap-in. I can Calm Mind twice pretty comfortably. And since I'm modest, I'm pretty sure 2 Hydro Pumps after a Calm Mind will 2 a KO Spit F Togekiss, if I remember that correctly. So I just really need 1. And then what's he going to go into to revenge it, right? He has 2 options, right? He can either go Jirachi, and that would only be if he's Scarf, which he very well could be, or Zeraora. And I think Zeraora is more likely to swap in, because I don't think he'd expect Salac Berry Endure. So if he swaps in Zera and then goes for the Plasma Fist to try to revenge me, I go for Endure, get my Salac Berry, all of a sudden I'm +1/+1/+1, and I get to click something else. I get to click Aura Sphere and either kill the Zera, or he's forced to sack something else and you know, do something. So I think this is a pretty good cleaner set that will catch the Zeraora off guard if that is his means to revenge me. So yeah. Next is Skarmory. This is a Suicide Lead Skarmory. I've never brought just hard Suicide Lead Skarmory before. I mean, I've definitely brought Skarmories that I've just led with and let die, but I've never brought like a Custap, Roostless, like dual hazards, taunt Skarm, and there's no bulk on it at all. I want max speed to outspeed Seismitoad. I don't think it'll run max speed Seismitoad, but I'm just like not taking any risks. And I kind of want to go down to my sturdy, so I don't really mind not having much bulk anyway. And, you know, with Custap Berry, I'm able to potentially set up another hazard against something faster than me. So if Zera leads and goes for Plasma Fists, then my Custap Berry pops and I can click another hazard, which should be pretty cool. Seismitoad, I have Taunt so that I can stop him from getting rocks up. I also have Taunt if he leads Scrafty and tries to bulk up on me right away, which is something that Gray thought could happen. I can Taunt that. It prevents Togekiss from defogging, and I don't think it will be max speed Togekiss, so the speed on Skarm is nice for that. And then the max attack actually helps quite a bit, because if I find myself in a situation where, like, say, Kyurem tries to Dragon Dance turn 1, or, you know, Scrafty tries to bulk up turn 1, I can click Brave Bird and do a shit ton of damage since I'm max attack. Like, Brave Bird's a very high base power move, and with max attack investment, it does quite a bit. So, people who say Skarmory is passive, fuck you. It does a lot of damage. So, we are going to rock out with that. I think it's like a 2 at KO against Nidoking too, which is pretty funny. So yeah, that is the Skarmory set. We're going to lead it. No ifs, ands, or buts. We're just going to lead it. We're going to get up hazards, and even though we could defog them with Togekiss, him defogging with Togekiss would give me momentum to set up with these two, which is extremely important. Or set up with this little guy, Turtonator. Good old Turtonator. We did bring this defensively to check Urshifu, and that was kind of the only game that I thought I'd bring it for. But I kind of feel like Elias won't prep for this. Maybe that's a little bit too rash of a thought, but like on things like Zera, I'm not necessarily sure I expect it to have like Toxic. I mean, it could have like Toxic is the worst thing Zera would have. Like Zera is not going to have much more for this Turtonator. I don't think Jirachi is going to run like Ancient Power for this Turtonator. I don't think Togekiss is going to run any super effective coverage. He doesn't really have super effective coverage against this, is the thing, on most of his mons, so I kind of like the ability of me being able to just go for a Shell Smash, and I don't expect this to clean, I expect this to break again, but that's why I have Draco Meteor, because unlike Dragon Pulse, it guarantees a one-shot from full. Same thing with like a bulky Kyurem, which is super neat. Flamethrower, again, then just does a lot to his team. Like his Flamethrower resists are Seismitoad, Talonflame, Heatmore. Like, I don't care about Heatmore. Seismitoad drops to a Draco, Talonflame drops to a Draco, and probably can't even kill me back. So, yeah, I just think it looks pretty good. Hopefully I can get it in against, like, a Zera or a Rachi, and, you know, click Shell Smash, but I also think it's really solid against his 2 defensive mons, like Scrafty and Gorageist. Like, if Scrafty doesn't have Roar or Dragon Tail, I can go for Shell Smash in front of it. If Gorageist, well, Gorageist can't really have anything for this, so this is pretty free in front of Gorageist too, which I like a lot. So we're going to give Turtonator a try and see how Vepsis does against it. I'm extremely nervous for this game. I know this is a long team builder, but hey, this is really important, this game, so we are going to try our best. You should know all of our strategies, all of our thoughts going into it, so that, you know, everything's clear, hopefully. So yeah, that's the team, and we are going to get into the battle against my good friend Vepsis. All right, we're starting the recording early. Gonna loosen up and stuff. It's gonna be hype. It's gonna be so exciting, this game against Vepsis. I can't wait for it. Ooh, and we connected very quickly. How convenient. This is the first game I've gotten to play where I get to have a mouse to like do calcs and stuff with. I've always had to use my janky trackpad to do it because I've only had 2 USB ports. One for my microphone and one for my Elgato, but on Amazon I ordered a USB extender, and it's the name of the competition. It's great. Genius joke. And now I get to use all 3, so that's fun. I'm still using my trackpad intuitively, but I get to use my mouse, which is very neat. It is going to make, hopefully, putting things in, information in, because I usually take my notes on my other monitor, a lot easier, and it's going to make doing calcing easier as well, ideally. So that'll be good. I'd be lying if I wasn't nervous because, you know, playoffs, but we're loose here. It's fine. We're gonna battle in land mode. I'm gonna be 152 because I'm a 152 main. I'm a proud 152 main. And we're gonna search. We're gonna search for this man. Which will be good. We do have a dedicated lead in Skarmory no matter what he brings. But I'm not gonna press A until I analyze his team and write down everything. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I expect to just see his top threats. No, that's not necessarily true. I expect to see Scrafty and Gorageist, and then maybe his like Togekiss, and then his top 3, like Zera, Kyurem, Jirachi. I was thinking about it in the bathroom when I was just peeing, and I think there's actually a possible likelihood Zera or it doesn't come, which is bad for me in the sense that it doesn't let me get Lando in as easily, but good for me in the sense that like Turtonator might go off because I don't think there's anything that would speed it. No, there is a Zera right here. This is the exact 6 I expected, so that's pretty cool. Kyurem, Gorageist. Let's do Gorageist Super. Let's make sure we don't fuck that up, which it will be because he needs it to check the Landorus. Scrafty, Togekiss, and Jirachi. So this makes me think it is possibly Scarf Jirachi. I think he needs a Scarfer in this matchup, and knowing how hazard fearful Vepsis can sometimes be, I would be skeptical if the Scarfer was Kyurem, but it very well could be. But I think Scarf Jirachi is marginally more likely, which is slightly scary, but doesn't change much for me. I like the ability for going for marks here, and I think I want to get 2 layers of spikes up, or do I want to get rocks up? I like rocks because it gives me intel on the Togekiss and the Kyurem, but I'm not too concerned about it. He has his dedicated lead set up. I need to stop using my trackpad, but that's okay. We'll see what he starts with. Good luck, have fun to Vepsis, one of my favorite people like in this community, period. And I'm very excited for this game. This is the first time we played on Wi-Fi, and I love this man so much. So we'll see how it goes. We do just have the normal stadium, which is fine. We have Gitten. I completely forget what that is. It's Kyurem. Okay. Kyurem could be many things. Could be many, many, many things. This scares me a little bit because I don't want him like setting up turn 1. But would he? I'm not sure. I think I'm just gonna go for my spikes here. Not gonna think about it too much. I do outspeed, so he is bulkier. That's good to know. As he goes for Ice Beam. Let's see how much this does. 140, down to my sturdy. It's fine. So, you didn't outspeed me. I think this is specs, so I want to get my rocks up here as well. I want to get my rocks up here. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think rocks are going to be important here. We'll see if he goes for Ice Beam again. He's slow choice specs. That's interesting to me. So he goes for Ice Beam. He's going to pick up the kill, but I'm going to play this like he's choice specs because Ice Beam Modest should never have put me into sturdy range. At the very least, he's a boosting item, so I know that he isn't, you know, something else. I have a few options here. I can go into my warrior and click knockoff, which I don't hate. I could go into my Keldeo and click Calm Mind, but that's a late game thing. I think I'm gonna go into warrior and click knockoff here. I could also click Brick Break, which I don't hate. I actually think I'll do that because I think Scrafty is a very possible swap in. So I'm gonna click Brick Break here. I don't think he just stays in against me, and I don't think he goes like, I think he goes Scrafty. So yeah, he does swap. We'll see if this is Intimidate or Shed Skin. This is Scrafty, so I did make the right call here. We'll burn the Choppel if that's what he is. Spikes, rocks, Intimidate, good to know. We'll see how much this does. We take it from about... Okay, that is Fizdef, I think. And Helmet. Okay. That's cool. I think I'm gonna go into Zeppelin here. Do I think he's gonna knock off himself? Not really. I take an Ice Punch if that's what he is. Let me just calc and make sure that this is Fizdef Scrafty. Brick Break. He's not Choppel, so I could take that off. He's Helmet. And at -1 I did about, yeah, that much. So I feel okay going into Zeppelin here. He could knock off, which would suck. But I think I'm gonna go into Zeppelin here. I don't think he's gonna Ice Punch me raw. That seems a little spooky. I think we see a Drain Punch or a Rest here. See a knockoff. Okay, so a little spooky. He does see my Power Herb, which is cool. Chunk of me wants to go for Earthquake, another chunk of me just wants to go for Fly. I think I'm just gonna go for Earthquake here. It likely won't kill, but I think that's okay. He knows I have Fly now, which should scare him a little. Does go into Great Pumpkin still, so good to see that, I suppose. This thing is Fizdef. He could just Willow here, but I don't think he'd do that. I think I'm gonna go into Hot Potato, use this to break. I think he's gonna Willow here. With Scrafty chipped, I like Necrozma. I like Necrozma a lot. Light Screen. Okay. It's kind of funny. So, Light Screen. This thing's probably Frisk. Scrafty is Knockoff and Fizdef with Rocky Helmet. Part of me wants to double here. Back into Zeppelin. I think I'm going to do that. Because I think he's going to go Togekiss here. He could still be slow, so I'm not thinking that he stayed in. He does swap. So what does he go into? Is this Jirachi? No, this is Togekiss. So I made the right call here. And I think I can freely Stone Edge now. Yeah. He has Boots. But if he defogs here, we'll know. Yeah, that does easily over half. Does get the defog off, which is okay. I'm okay with that because it puts Togekiss in a position where Keldeo looks really solid here. Like, he's clearly afraid of Keldeo. Could see a Stone Edge come off here with my end. He could go Rachi. That would be a little spooky. Part of me wants to just Earthquake and call that, but I think there's significant odds that he just sacks this. Could also Fly. Could also Swords Dance. I think I'm gonna Swords Dance. Is that a weird play? No, I think I'm just gonna Stone Edge. I think I'm just gonna attack what's in front of me, not do anything weird. He does swap, which is okay. I wanted to Earthquake and call the Jirachi. No, but he goes Gourgeist anyway, so that's alright. Let's see how much this does. 60. It's fine. I think there are significant odds that this thing's probably Light Clay. I kind of do want a Swords Dance here. I don't think he's going to Willow expecting me, because I did just go Turt. I think he's going to Synthesis here. He swaps out. Okay. Into who? Into Getten. Okay. Smart play, but I also know I outspeed this. So do I just go for the Stone Edge? Do I kill with Fly? That's the other question. I think he's bulky, so I think I just have to risk the Stone Edge. I'm not crazy. I outsped this with Skarm, so I need to I do outspeed this with what's it called? Okay, there's DMX. I missed this one, but that's okay. I think I can just go for Earthquake here. He's gonna have to let something go down, and he's wasting light screen turns, which I kind of appreciate. Okay, I do get to go for Earthquake here. I don't care that you're fizzed up. This should kill. Yep. Scrafty goes down. That opens up the gateway a lot for... what are you called? For, Turtonator. What? Turtonator? Necrozma. It opens up the gateway for Necrozma. What the fuck am I saying? I don't know what he goes into here. If we go into Jirachi, we'll know he's Ice Punch. He goes into Great Pumpkin. Interesting. So I am +1. Fly should kill, obviously. Stone Edge likely doesn't. He could be baiting the Fly here. Could be baiting the Fly here, but I don't think I care. Because if he goes into Rachi here, that gives me Turtonator setup. Gives me Turtonator setup. There's the Will-O-Wisp. So he has to choose whether or not to let this go down or not. I'm already assuming that he's going into Rachi here to take the hit. We're gonna get to see how much damage we do. If he's offensive, we're doing 34 to 40, which puts it in range of a Aura Sphere. So I don't mind this play. We're really crippling his offense right now, or his defense, I should say, which I like a lot. I don't care if he goes into Rachi here. This gives me information. He goes into Togekiss, actually, and sacks that off. Okay, good to know. Okay, so Landorus gets a kill against Togekiss. Very cool. Landorus is doing what it's meant to do, and that is break. I can win this game. There's Shinri. That's the Jirachi. Okay. We don't get information about this, but that's okay. I want to know what the hell you are. That's my thing. He U-turns on my Turtonator. If he U-turns on my Turtonator. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I think I'm okay if he U-turns into my Turtonator. I want to know what this is. Yep, there's the Ice Punch. Doesn't freeze me. It does 29. That looks like max attack, which tells me that this thing is likely Choice Scarf, which makes me really want to Shell Smash right now. It also really makes me want to sub, but I don't think I have a reason to. He just goes for Ice Punch again. Okay, I should still be okay. I wish I had sub now. But I take a kill. I take a kill. Swaps out. Goes in Great Pumpkin, sacks that off. Okay, good to know. Boots. Now I wish I was whiter, but it happens. Get to Flamethrower here. He's gonna go into Rachi and lock himself into something, if that's what he is. Does Zen kill me from here? Which I honestly don't think he has, but he might. Zen, if I'm -1 defense, is a roll. It is a roll in which he needs complete max to do anything. We do have the Zen. He needs a max roll to kill me here. It's fine though, because now Weavile gets a kill, I should say. I think I can actually easily go for Ice School Spear because of this. But knockoff is just freer. It's just far freer. That was an absolute max roll, which sucks, but he could have flinched me, so whatever. I don't know what he gives me here. I'd be very interested to know. He gives me the Kyurem, unless this takes 2 hits, which I would be surprised about. expect to cure him. Even with no item, this nukes the fuck out of you, so that's fine. Okay, you're dead. Earthquake from Lando's free now. If he goes into Zera, Ice Punch did 29 to Tornado before. Is it possible that that is Adamant Jirachi? Because that's going to determine whether or not I go for the Keldeo in game. Did 29. It's not possible. I mean, it's possible that it could be like some attack Adamant. I feel like that's too unreliable for me to go for here. He does go into Shinri. So he's going to click something. The least likely thing I think he's gonna click is Zen. Most likely thing, U-turn. This lets me hold on to this mon. What do you lock yourself into? U-turn. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna see Zera here. Plasma Fist to my Keldeo. Nukes me, obviously. I think I'm gonna choose to endure here. Or do I think I'm gonna... I feel like that's not worth it. I feel like I just go into Zeppelin. If he's weakness policy, I still don't lose because I have the thing in the back. So I can... Lando's extremely safe here. And I don't know if he'd Plasma Fist, knowing that that's a thing I do. But he did stay in. Adrenaline Orb. Oh, Eject Pack. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. It puts me in the exact same situation as before. It doesn't spook me at all. I can go back into Keldeo because if he Zens, then I just bring in Weavile. Goes for Iron Head. That's perfect. Now I'm just gonna spam Aura Sphere, I think, for damage. Is that the right way to go? I think it is. Let's do that. Yeah, he's going for flinches. Okay. It's fine. I just need some damage. I just need some. I do get my Salic, so we'll see if I outspeed the next turn anyway. I do flinch. But I just get to do its Aura Sphere again, so I don't care. Okay, I do outspeed. That's neat. And that's damage. Okay. Ooh. Do I go for the kill? No, right? I just go for the Aura Sphere. I think. Yeah, I just go for the Aura Sphere. Just go for the Aura Sphere, and we should be able to beat fucking Vepsis. Ah! How the fuck did that happen? Okay. Cool. Does this two-shot? Hey, nice job, Keldeo. It does two-shot. Alright, so we get to go for Aura Sphere one more time. And I'm just going to Aura Sphere the Jirachi because I can Ice Shard it with Weavile. So that's a 3-0 win for me, which I love a lot. Super cool. Super duper cool. I just beat Vepsis. Let's go. Oh my god. I mean, I don't want to like sound like I'm like, because this is 100% not his best team, and it 100% is my best team, so yikes. But we're still in playoffs hopes. Holy shit. I did not think that's how this would go. Does get the Iron Head off. I will be able to go into Weavile and Ice Shard. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. Ice Shard should 100% kill. I didn't even calc it, but there's no way. It does 10%. Yeah, it does 14 to 17. Don't miss click. Click Ice Shard. Do we beat Vepsis? Do we beat Vepsis? Oh, we still have playoff hopes. Oh, we still have playoff hopes. We still have playoff hopes. After the abysmal loss streak in the middle of the season, we're able to climb back to 4-4. It all comes down to Leo. It all comes down to Leo. My fucking god. I just did that. I just did that. Come on, Weavile. Drop the Jirachi. Oh, let's go. Let's fucking go. That's so good. I just defeated Vepsis. Oh my god. I just defeated Vepsis. How the fuck did I beat Elias? What the fuck? Okay. Okay, good to know. Good to know. I can stand up to the top of the top. This is the biggest game. This is the biggest win I've ever had in my Wi-Fi career. And I just fucking did it. I'm capable of this shit. I doubted myself for those 4 losses and said, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I don't deserve to be in this league. Maybe I shouldn't have put myself in these 14. I know that I'm meant to be here now. I know it. I fucking know it. That's huge. I'm so happy. GG to Vepsis. I love him so, so much. Please go check out his channel. I'm sure, like, you know, I hope he's going to be fine with the loss. I know that, you know, I mean, there wasn't really much hacks other than the Iron Head flinches, so. Oh my god. That's awesome. I'm so happy. Go check him out. He's the nicest guy in the world. One of my best friends in the community. Honestly, like a father to me. Like, he is so amazing. He helps me out with so much stuff, Pokemon stuff, life stuff. You know, he's amazing. So please, please go watch him. I love him to death. So he's... I just won! I just won! Ah, that's so good. That puts us in a really good spot because it's possible 4 and 5s make playoffs, so I have that little cushion there, but I feel really good about my Leo matchup. I don't want to jinx that, but... You know, I've beaten Leo before, so I feel like I was more nervous about this one than I am next week, but I don't want to jinx anything. I mean, Leo has been getting some big wins, so... But we're doing it. We're here. Puts us at 4-4 plus 5, which I like. So, I will see you all in the final week of the CGT. Please, please go check out Vepsis, and I will see you all later.